Okay, we're back with number 2. The issue that I'm bringing up here is this backpack. Black is common. The paint is better. It flows. The black paint flows better. Sometimes I don't want to use this glossy black, and sometimes I do. In this case, I will. Also bear in mind that these Airfix figures have an incorrect backpack. They have a backpack reminiscent of French Crimea. Although the Crimea did influence the dress. The American Civil War, they had not just blanket rolls, but they had different, some of these guys you see that are different brand. I'm actually gonna, I think I might change to a dark charcoal because this black is a little bit deceiving, and one might say it's a little incorrect to have a black backpack. But then again, here's why, right? The reason is that there's so much brown already in these guys. The Airfix don't even have, those Airfix guys advancing don't even have backpacks. These guys do. But I have painted some of them brown and some of them black. These guys are all painted brown. You can see the difference. I shouldn't be spending this much time on these guys. It's really not that important. But one thing is for certain, the cartridge boxes were definitely a shiny black leather. Now you'll notice that some of these figures don't have the cartridge boxes. They have a pouch, and that pouch, I'm going to leave it because I don't want to have the figures have a white and a white, or a antique white. Vanilla type, because that would make it, just, it would be too much of that color. I could go to a brown haversack. See, some of them have a haversack, and some of them have a cartridge box, so I'm actually not too sure. See, this is a some of these guys I didn't do the canteens. And yes, I'm flying through it. So you can see some of these brands have a blanket roll. All right. It's a little hard to determine what that is, haversack or not. Just going to give it a little touch to give it some different potential. It's minor. No one's going to notice. No one's going to point it out. Hey, you got the wrong color on the cartridge box. or any such thing. All right, baby, I'm coming. Just a few minutes here. The other thing to note is you don't really want a hair that's the same color as the uniform. So if it's a butternut looking guy, you kind of want to have a different brown. Why you do this is because you want the hat to stand out. If you don't do the hair, the hat doesn't stand out. And then once I'm done here, everybody gets sprayed. See, some of these guys I don't have to bother because the color is already part of the previous painting, the coat or the shell jacket that they're wearing. Even though the sculpture shows a beard, I sometimes don't do that because it just covers up. These are figures I had mounted a long time ago on the tongue depressors, and I discovered them. I decided to mix them in with the Airfix guys, or not. And by not actually painting the beards, you make them look a little younger. The Johnny Reb kind of look. And yeah, I see that guy has a overpaint brown onto his hat. I'll fix that. You see, so when you have the assembly line going, you've got the same, sure, you're touching it and touching it and touching it, but when you're done, you're done. Like, you don't have to do it again. These are those guys, these are the Airfix guys. I'm not entirely sure if I should paint these haversacks this color, but I am going to do it because they have no color. They have no equipment color, and I haven't done their canteens yet. If the guy happens to have black hair, I'm leaving it. At any rate, the point is to have a contrast. Some of these guys should have black hair. The commanders especially have a beard. And the gloves they're wearing are a very distinctive. You know, it's an interesting thing too when you paint the figures as opposed to like printing them. the paper, for instance, example. When you do this, you kind of feel like they have some vigor. These guys will fight, you know, they will fight. They will have good dice rolls, is what I'm saying. What did I do there? That was a piece of plastic that was hanging, a piece of flashing. Sorry if these guys look like they're upside down, but they aren't to me. But where did those guys go without the canteens? Yeah, you see some of these guys. And the blankets I'll leave for another day. So you see, it's all a question of contrast. It's all about contrast. If the guy's got a butternut coat, give them a tan or red or blue blanket. I'll come back to those guys and do their canteen. All right, then once done, everybody gets spray painted. A little too blotchy on that guy. See the difference over time? See how it kind of, you get that. And by the way, the blankets can also be a light color. These guys have cartridge. Oh no, that's a. Do I do the shoes sometimes? If I feel like it. also true that sometimes the bases have to be repainted because of the blue pants. These guys, for instance, I did not spray paint them green, and so I'm going to paint their bases now. This is why I don't do the feet, because you're just going to paint them green anyway. Why is it green? Well, because for the most part you're going to be on a green board, a green game board. Fall. Summer. Have I personally witnessed troops that were well painted behaving well in combat? In other words, getting good dice rolls? I have to tell you that it's a mix, because sometimes I haven't painted troops really well and they've just consistently, from battle to battle, they just get really good dice rolls. And I'm like, why is it that some guys do and some guys don't? Is it because they're painted? Can't say. But I will say that it feels like when the guys are painted, the little inanimate little objects feel like they want to do good. They feel like they want to do good. They want to make you happy. And so some of the guys who are painted, they sometimes surprise you. They go, well, let's send in the guys that aren't that well painted. And then they end up getting like incredible die rolls. And then you send in the guys that are painted, because sometimes you can't paint everybody. You just got so much time. And it's kind of like a mix. But it is interesting. It is potentially true. I guess what I'm saying is you don't know. And because you don't know, all right. Anyway, so there we are. There's a mix of IMAX, Italry, and some of the straps I'll get to later. The blankets I'll probably get to later. The barrels of the rifles, sometimes I do them and sometimes I don't. But there you go. That's a nice division right there. Makings of a good division. All right, that's number 2, and we'll come back and we'll do some more.